I'd have liked Michelle Yeoh's Star Trek movie more if it answered a 20-year-old Enterprise mystery. When Michelle Yeoh's long-rumored Star Trek Section 31 movie was officially confirmed, fans cheered. After all, the idea of Yeoh's Philippa Georgiou, equal parts Empress, Starfleet officer, and survivor, taking the lead in a feature film felt like a bold choice. She brings the right mix of gravitas and unpredictability, perfect for a darker Star Trek story. But as much as I'm excited, I can't help but wish the film had gone in a slightly different direction. Because Star Trek has been sitting on an unsolved mystery for over 20 years, one that Enterprise introduced in its first season and never resolved. The enigmatic temporal Cold War. And Georgiou's morally gray, time-bending storyline could have been the perfect vehicle to finally tie it all together. The temporal Cold War that wasn't. When Star Trek Enterprise premiered in 2001, it was marketed as a back-to-basics prequel about humanity's first steps into deep space. But almost immediately, the writers added a strange wrinkle. Episodes opened with glimpses of a shadowy figure from the 31st century manipulating events in Archer's time. Agents from different eras, mysterious temporal corridors, and the looming threat of a temporal Cold War were teased as part of the overarching mythology. And then, nothing. Enterprise stumbled in the ratings, struggled with its episodic identity, and when it was canceled after Season 4, the show left its most ambitious story thread dangling. Who was Future Guy? What was the real objective of the factions fighting this temporal war? Why was the 22nd century such a crucial battleground? Fans were left to debate theories, but no canon resolution ever came. It's been one of Trek's longest-standing loose ends, a tantalizing what-if that seemed destined to fade into obscurity. Why Georgiou was perfect to answer it. Enter Michelle Yeoh. Georgiou's story across Discovery has already been steeped in temporal weirdness. She originated in the Mirror Universe, was pulled into the Prime Timeline, worked with Section 31, and ultimately was forced into a time travel exile because her existence was literally destabilizing the universe. Her entire character arc revolves around questions of identity, loyalty, and survival across fractured timelines. Doesn't that sound like someone tailor-made to stumble into the temporal Cold War? Imagine the possibilities. Georgiou, stranded between centuries, being recruited or manipulated by one of the factions in this mysterious war. Instead of a straightforward Section 31 spy thriller, her movie could have been the bridge between the modern Trek timeline and Enterprise's dangling plot threads. Not only would this give Georgiou a rich narrative playground, it would also reward longtime fans who've been waiting 2 decades for answers. Closing the loop between prequel and future. One of Star Trek's greatest strengths is its ability to weave its different shows into a larger, cohesive mythology. Discovery already flirted with this by explaining why the spore drive disappeared from history and by recontextualizing Spock's past. A Georgiou movie dealing with the temporal Cold War could have done something similar for Enterprise. It would be the ultimate connective tissue, a 32nd century perspective on why Archer's time was so vital, why Starfleet was unknowingly at the center of temporal politics, and perhaps even revealing who Future Guy truly was. For fans who stuck through Enterprise despite its flaws, this would have been the ultimate payoff, like a missing puzzle piece finally snapping into place. What we got instead. From what little we know, the actual Section 31 movie focuses on Georgiou's recruitment into Starfleet's most shadowy intelligence service. That's not without potential. Yeoh can absolutely carry a cloak and dagger story, and Section 31 has always been ripe for deeper exploration. Still, it feels like a safer, narrower path. Yes, we'll probably get moral dilemmas, secret missions, and power struggles inside the Federation. But those are themes Deep Space Nine and Discovery already played with. The temporal Cold War, by contrast, would have allowed Georgiou to interact with the past, future, and present all at once, blending espionage with high-concept sci-fi. It would have been a movie that not only advanced her arc, but also cleaned up one of Trek's biggest unresolved messes: Trek's missed opportunities. Star Trek often prides itself on moving forward, sometimes at the expense of its past. There's a philosophy in the franchise that the future should always be looking ahead, not backward. But occasionally, tying up old mysteries is just as satisfying as creating new ones.